displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor. First hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. There's a key tree in the middle of the fairway that we're approaching right now. You can go either side of that tree, but I prefer to go to the left of that tree. The reason being, the basket up here is located off to the right, and there's a thin slot that you have to hit in order to gain access to the basket. And it's easier to hit that slot if your disc is moving from left to right than if your disc is going straight. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. Here you see the slot that I was talking about and the first basket. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The second hole is a short but very tight and densely wooded hole. It also plays gradually uphill. I recommend aiming at this street light that you see directly ahead and using a slight right to left disc flight. If you do that, you should end up just short and left of the basket and you should have a decent birdie putt. On this hole, you really want to focus on getting the disc flight and the distance right. Power is of absolutely no account on this hole. The third hole is another short and heavily wooded hole, but the fairway is not quite as tight as the first two holes. This hole is a gradual dogleg left, but a good straight throw should set up a birdie opportunity. This is the Pharaoh's Tomb course at White Bank Park. We are in Colonial Heights, Virginia, and therefore we are in the Richmond, Virginia area. There's the third basket, and there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. After three short technical holes, we break out into the open. The fourth hole is the longest hole on this course, and the fact that this tee shot plays across the parking lot leads to a conversation about tees. Most holes on this course have three tees. There's a main white tee, a short red tee, and then an alternate gray tee. All of these video clips start at the main white tee. The main white tee is concrete, the other two tees are dirt. Only the main white tee plays across the corner of that parking lot, and so if there are a lot of cars in that parking lot, I would probably choose to play this hole from either the short red tee or the alternate gray tee. Here's the basket. It's located directly underneath the limbs of this pine tree, and there's the view back to the tee. The fifth hole is another long and fairly open hole. It plays around the corner of an abandoned restroom building, which is the structure you see off to the left. So you want to bend your disc flight right to left around the corner of that building. To finish what I have to say about the tees, the existence of the three tees is the reason for the range of distances at the top of the screen. As I said, all of these video clips start at the white tee, which in most cases is the back tee. And therefore on this hole we do see the full 361 feet of this hole. There's the view back to the tee. Now we head back into the woods for another short technical hole. The sixth hole is a dogleg right, and it has a lot of overhanging limbs that create a low ceiling. There's also a tree directly in front of the basket, and so the best idea is to use a left to right disc flight and keep it low to keep it under the trees, and then just hope you get a peek at the basket around this one tree that sits right in front of the basket. There's the sixth basket, and there's the view back to the tee. The seventh hole is the last long and fairly open hole on the front nine. I do like the way that this course goes back and forth between short, tight, heavily wooded holes and longer, more open holes. Even though the land on this course is pretty flat, that gives some nice hole variety when you're playing this course. This hole is a double dogleg right, and both of those doglegs play around the edge of the dense woods, which is off to the right. There's plenty of room off to the left, but you really don't want to miss right on this hole. I captured this video on Friday, September the 12th, and it was a warm, sunny afternoon with temperatures in the low 80s when I came here. This is a fairly popular park. There were about 20 other people in the park when I was here, but I was the only player on the disc golf course. The last 2 holes on the front 9 are back to the short technical variety. The 8th hole plays across a small swale. It's very tight, but it is dead straight. So if you can keep your disc straight enough, you should be able to make birdie on this hole. I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. This is a nice course. It's a little too flat and a little too short to appeal to some players, but it's tight enough that most players are going to be challenged at least occasionally. There's some good hole variety, and if you're in the Richmond area, it's certainly worth playing around here. The 9th hole is of course the last hole on the front 9. There's a very tight gap just in front of the tee, but as we go around the dogleg left, the closer you get to the basket, the more open this hole becomes. So if you can hit that first gap and get around the dogleg, then a birdie is a very real possibility here. Also, we just walked across a paved park road. That park road is out of bounds, so you don't want to miss left and end up on that road. That is the end of the front 9. I will see you on the back 9. Until next time, I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor for Parking Full Time. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.